Ashley Loring HeavyRunner, born on November 23, 1996, on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in Browning, Montana, was a member of the Blackfeet tribe and a 20-year-old student at Blackfeet Community College studying environmental science. Unfortunately, in the summer of 2017, her life took an unexpected turn. On the night of June 5th, Ashley attended a party on the reservation and then strangely disappeared. She was captured on video that night, but it's unclear if she disappeared during or after the party. In the days following, her family initially assumed she might be visiting friends or had misplaced her phone as she had done before. However, concern grew when Ashley failed to visit her father in the hospital, a behavior out of character for her. Upon reaching out to Ashley's friends, they discovered that no one had heard from her since June 5th. Her family contacted Blackfeet law enforcement and the Bureau of Indian Affairs to report her disappearance, but claimed authorities didn't take the situation seriously. Ashley's case faced jurisdictional challenges as the Blackfeet Tribal Police, the BIA, and the FBI shared overlapping authority over the investigation. Despite these agencies' involvement, it took 2 months for the BIA to begin actively investigating the case. By February 2018, the FBI joined the investigation at the BIA's request, but by then the trail had grown cold. A tip surfaced just weeks after Ashley's disappearance. Witnesses reported seeing a young woman running from a vehicle on U.S. Highway 89 on the reservation the same night Ashley disappeared. Blackfeet law enforcement, with its limited resources, fewer than 20 officers covering a 1.5 million-acre reservation, conducted a brief 3-day search. Ashley's family, frustrated by the lack of progress, took matters into their own hands and also searched the area. Her sister, Kimberly Loring, discovered a sweater and a pair of boots with red stains, which the family believed belonged to Ashley. They handed the items over to law enforcement, but it's unclear if they've done anything with them. At one point, authorities had misplaced the sweater she found before it resurfaced. If DNA testing was done on the sweater, her family has not been updated on the results. Further developments deepened the mystery. A man named Sam McDonald claimed he was with Ashley for several days following the June 5th party.
I was with her for 6 days. We had fun, and we got along. I was bringing her home. I was so tired, so I pulled over. About that time, we had been up for days, and just like that, I went to sleep. And when I woke up, she was gone.
According to McDonald, on June 11th, he drove her to meet a man named Paul Valenzuela, known as V-Dog. McDonald said he fell asleep, and when he woke up, Ashley was gone. Ashley's family confirmed she had been romantically involved with Valenzuela, who had a criminal record that included burglary and weapons convictions. In June of 2018, the family got permission to search a trailer that Valenzuela was known to frequent. There, they discovered what they thought was possibly a blood stain beneath the shag carpet. Just like the sweater, it's unclear if law enforcement will test it. Complicating matters, Valenzuela was married to Ashley's cousin, who went by T. Sam continued telling the Loring family that Valenzuela and T know where Ashley is. At some point, T went on YouTube and posted a 14-minute video and can be heard telling friends in the recording that, and I quote, "Paul is trying to set me up." However, since then, T and Valenzuela have reconciled, and now she is claiming they were both in Seattle when Ashley disappeared. In 2018, Ashley's sister Kimberly testified before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, alleging significant mismanagement of the investigation. She stated, and I quote, "From the very beginning, both the Blackfeet tribal law enforcement and the BIA have ignored the dire situation that Ashley is in and have allowed the investigation to be handled in a dysfunctional manner." Valenzuela has been considered a person of interest in Ashley's case, but has not been charged in connection with her disappearance. In August 2023, he was arrested in Great Falls, Montana, on unrelated charges of making threats to a federal officer and illegal possession of firearms. During the arrest, the FBI and local law enforcement executed a search warrant using a SWAT team and had to break down the door and use at least one flashbang because he refused to come out. Tensions within the family have further complicated the investigation. T has accused Kimberly of being involved in Ashley's disappearance and presumed murder. Meanwhile, Kimberly has alleged that T's jealousy over her husband's romantic involvement with Ashley may have played a role in her disappearance. Disturbingly, Kimberly has also received threatening text messages claiming responsibility for Ashley's murder and warning that she could be next. It is unclear whether law enforcement has traced the source of these messages or acted upon them. Ashley stood 5 feet 2 inches with brown hair and brown eyes, weighing about 90 pounds. She went missing on June 5, 2017, and as of January 2025, she remains missing, and this case remains unsolved. Emmett Charles Velten was born in Memphis, Tennessee on November 10, 1941. A brilliant academic, he earned his degree from the University of Chicago and his Ph.D. in psychology from the University of Southern California. His doctoral dissertation led to the creation of the Velten Mood Induction Procedure, which remains a cornerstone in mood state research to this day. By 2011, Emmett was living alone in an apartment in Phoenix, Arizona. He worked as a psychologist specializing in cognitive behavioral therapy, driven by a deep passion for helping others improve their mental health and well-being. Outside of work, Emmett was a lover of the arts, enjoying opera, symphony, ballet, travel, history, and quiet evenings with his cats Henry and Thomas. On the evening of April 24, 2011, Emmett returned to his apartment complex located near the 2300 block of North Central Avenue in Phoenix. CCTV footage captured him arriving with a young man wearing a bright green hat who appeared to be in his mid-20s. The two were seen entering Emmett's apartment together at 8:10 a.m. Moments later, they appeared on camera again in an elevator, and everything seemed normal. 2 hours later, the young man was seen leaving the apartment complex via the stairs, notably avoiding the elevator. Cameras also captured him casually stealing Emmett's car as he departed. Approximately 45 minutes after the man left, Emmett emerged from his apartment, bleeding profusely from head injuries and with his pants partially removed. He collapsed near the elevator, where a neighbor discovered him and called 911. Despite his critical condition, Emmett managed to tell police officers that he had picked up the man at Cass, a homeless shelter in downtown Phoenix. Emmett's car was later found abandoned 13 miles away from his apartment. A week after the attack, Emmett sadly succumbed to his injuries. Unfortunately, the young man responsible for the attack has never been identified. Police recovered a bloody footprint at the scene, but it has yet to yield any leads. Investigators believe the suspect may not have been a local, as no one at any nearby homeless shelters could identify him from the grainy surveillance footage. It's also possible that he wasn't homeless at all, and Cass was just used as a meeting place for Emmett and the young man. Friends, including Brad Stacy, were shocked by the circumstances of the crime. Brad stated that Emmett had never mentioned picking up strangers for romantic encounters and doubted that this was part of his routine. Police found no evidence suggesting Emmett was involved with sex workers or had a history of such behavior. The mystery surrounding Emmett's death has left investigators and friends with more questions than answers. Despite the grainy surveillance footage, the bloody footprint, and the abandoned car, the trail of the unidentified assailant has gone cold. Emmett Velten was murdered in 2011, and as of January 2025, this case remains unsolved. Kimberly Nicole Arrington, affectionately known as Kim or Kiwi, was born on May 23, 1982. At 16, Kim lived in Montgomery, Alabama, and was a 10th grader at Jefferson Davis High School. Described as friendly, well-behaved, and responsible, she loved music, dancing, computers, and children. She was known for babysitting neighborhood kids to earn extra money, a job she very much enjoyed. On October 30, 1998, Kim asked her younger sister, Jennifer, if she wanted to walk with her to the store, but Jennifer declined. Kim decided to go anyway and told her mother she was heading to the CVS pharmacy at the corner of 3rd Street and Forest Avenue to get a snack and soda. She left home around 5 p.m., never to be seen by her family again. When Kim didn't return home by 5:45, her parents became concerned. Kim was known for being reliable, and if she said she was going to CVS and coming straight home, she always followed through. Her parents searched the neighborhood for hours, but by 8 p.m., they feared something had happened to their daughter. Most reports state that she was last seen at the CVS pharmacy, while others said she never made it that far. Initially, authorities considered Kim a possible runaway due to her age. However, her family insisted she would never run away, especially without taking any belongings or contacting anyone. As days turned into weeks with no contact or sightings, investigators shifted focus, suspecting she may have been abducted. Despite extensive searches and interviews, no witnesses came forward to provide information about her disappearance. Kim was last seen wearing a gray Bugle Boy shirt with a collar, light blue Levi's jeans, white Reebok sneakers with gray trim, an emerald ring with 2 diamonds on each side, and a double heart ring set with a diamond. She stood 5 feet 2 inches tall, with black hair and brown eyes. Sadly, Kim's mother passed away in 2005, never knowing what happened to her daughter, but her father and sister continued to search for answers. Kim went missing on October 30th, 1998, and as of January 2025, she has never been found, and this case remains unsolved. Kimberley Kay Kersey, who went by Kim, was born on December 15, 1968, to parents Kay and Ed. At age 18, Kim was a senior at Mountain View High School in Vancouver, Washington, living with her mother and 2 siblings. Her parents were divorced, but her father lived nearby and maintained a close relationship with her. On March 11, 1987, Kim left school, and while she sometimes caught a ride with her father or friend, she decided to walk the 2 miles home. Her typical route took her north across Mill Plain Boulevard near Evergreen Airport. She had plans to attend a basketball tournament in Tacoma, Washington, with her boyfriend after school, but never arrived home. The day after her disappearance, her school books and papers were found abandoned in a wooded area not far from her home. This discovery marked the beginning of an investigation that would span decades. Authorities immediately suspected foul play, with 2 main suspects having emerged over the years. The first is Russell Francis Stinger, a convicted murderer and sex offender who lived and worked near Kim's home at the time of her disappearance. Stinger was known to have done maintenance or yard work in the same apartment complex where Kim lived, next to Cascade Middle School. 7 months after Kim vanished, Stinger abducted 20-year-old Dale Leah Schroeder, a young mother just 2 blocks from her home in East Vancouver. He forced Dale into his car as she walked along a well-lit section of McGillivray Boulevard. Witnesses heard her scream, "Oh my God, help me," but she was gone before anyone could intervene. Stinger sexually assaulted Dale in multiple locations before fatally shooting her and abandoning her body near State Highway 14. He was arrested for the crime and later sentenced to life without parole. Despite his conviction and the striking similarities between the 2 cases, Stinger repeatedly denied any involvement in Kim's disappearance. During a prison interview, he refused to discuss details of the night he killed Dale and expressed no remorse for his actions. Stinger died in 2008 while serving his life sentence. The second person of interest is an unidentified man who lived just 2 blocks from Kim's home in 1987. This man has a criminal record for sexually assaulting a minor and has since left the state. Authorities suspect he may have passed away, but little is publicly known about his potential involvement in Kim's case. A third person of interest is the serial killer Alvin Brown, who went by Bud. In 1991, he was linked by DNA to the murders of 17-year-old Kimberly Stevens and 31-year-old Noreen Davis. This breakthrough only came after a woman survived his attack and was able to identify him. He was never formally convicted for the murders, but was sentenced to nearly 69 years in prison for other crimes, including attempted murder, and died of natural causes in 2002 while still incarcerated. Kim's disappearance devastated her family. Her mother passed away in 1996 from cancer without ever learning what happened to her daughter. Her father, Ed, and younger sister remain alive and continue to hope for answers. Over the years, investigators have continued to follow leads, though no concrete evidence has ever surfaced that would help solve the case. Kim was 5 feet 2 inches tall with blonde hair and blue eyes. She wore light blue denim jeans, a white sweatshirt with the words University of Paris in blue and pink, and a yellow-pink turtleneck shirt. She also wore an upper dental retainer. Kimberley Kersey disappeared on March 11, 1987, and as of January 2025, she has never been found, and this case remains unsolved. On June 13, 1972, in Fairfax County, Virginia, the unclothed body of a young boy was discovered in Massey Creek on Old Colchester Road. The child was believed to have been there since that morning or the evening before and was estimated to be between 3 and 6 years old. He stood about 4 feet tall and weighed approximately 50 pounds. He had black hair and brown eyes and had recently eaten a full meal prior to his death. The medical examiner ruled his death a homicide, indicating he had suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Even though his clothes were missing and have never been found, there were no signs of sexual assault. Without anyone coming forward to identify him, he became known as the Fairfax County John Doe 1972. Investigators had checked missing children's reports up and down the East Coast, but none matched the boy's description. The Alexandria-based National Center for Missing and Exploited Children created a computer-assisted facial reconstruction of the child, one of the first attempts by the organization to use the new technology. A forensic artist used pictures taken by police to show what he likely looked like alive. Unfortunately, it still didn't lead to his identity, and 52 years later, this case remains unsolved.